Assalamualaikum and good evening to Madam Hafiza and everyone. We are from Group 1 and today we will be presenting multiple questions for Part A for RES614 Professional Practice 1. Before we begin our presentation, let me introduce our group members. My name is QURRATU binti AHMAD AZIAN. Next is LIYANA binti MOHAMAD. Next, SABRINA binti AMINNUDIN. Next, SYAZWANI HAZIRA binti AMINNUDIN. And lastly, NURUL binti AHMAD SOLAHUDDEEN LAMULLOR. Next, I will pass to the first presenter. Let's begin our presentation.
So now I will present question 3, which required us to differentiate three groups of property professional in Malaysia. The discussion is divided into three parts, which is first, the difference between registered appraisal and registered valuer. Second, difference between a probationary valuer and registered valuer. And lastly, difference between broker, real estate negotiator and registered estate agent. So first, let's compare a registered appraisal and registered valuer. The first aspect is the scope of practice. A registered appraisal can only carry out valuation work within the scope approved by the board. In contrast, a registered valuer is authorized to perform a wide range of valuation service without those limitations. Secondly, regarding practice restriction, a registered appraisal is subject to restrictions such as geographical area or valuation limits. However, a registered valuer is not restricted by location or valuation amount. Thirdly, for professional authority, for a registered appraisal must practice according to the condition imposed by the board, whereas a registered valuer can practice independently throughout Malaysia. Lastly, in terms of responsibility, a registered appraisal has limited responsibility based on the board approval, while a registered valuer carry full professional responsibility for valuation assignment. So next is the comparison between a probationary valuer and a registered valuer. A probationary valuer is still undergoing practical training and work under the supervision of a registered valuer. On the other hand, a registered valuer is fully qualified and allowed to practice independently. To become a registered valuer, a probationary valuer must complete the requirement practical training, gain sufficient professional experience and successfully pass the test of professional competence or TPC. They are also different in the application process. A probationary valuer applies using Form A1 while a registered valuer applies using Form A. Finally, the fee are different. The process and registration fee for the registered valuer are higher because they are receive full professional registered and the authority. So lastly, I will explain the difference between a broker, real estate negotiator and a registered estate agent. Firstly, a broker is not registered with the board and does not have legal recognition under the Act. A broker also cannot legally establish or operate an estate agency firm. Secondly, a real estate negotiator must be registered under a licensed registered estate agent and work under the agent's supervision. Their role is to assist in property marketing, negotiation and transaction. However, they are not allowed to practice independently or open their own estate agency. Lastly, a registered estate agent is fully registered with the board and is authorized to practice independently. They are also permitted to establish and operate an estate agency firm and carry full legal and professional responsibility for the service they provide.
Today I will present the purpose of Professional Indemnity Insurance (PII) for registered valuation firms in Malaysia. Professional Indemnity Insurance or PII is an insurance policy that protects registered valuation firms against financial loss caused by professional mistakes, negligence or error while providing valuation services. One of the main purposes of PII is to provide financial protection to valuation firms when clients make claims due to professional errors. This insurance helps firms to cover compensation, payment, legal fees and other related costs. PII helps to increase public confidence in the valuation profession. Clients feel more secure using valuation service because they know there is protection available if professional negligence occurs. Lastly, PII support the objective of the Valuers, Appraisers, Estate Agent and Property Manager Act 1981, Act 242 by encouraging registered valuers to practice professionally, ethically and responsibly. Professional indemnity insurance is important because it protects both valuation firms and clients while maintaining the credibility and professionalism of the valuation industry in Malaysia.
I will explain some examples of claimable loss cover under professional indemnity insurance. The first is a negligent valuation. This happens when a valuer provides an accurate property value due to poor market analysis, indicate research or failure consider important factor affecting the property value. If the client suffer financial loss because of the incorrect valuation, they may make a claim against the valuation firm. Second example is error or omission in the valuation report. For instance, the valuer may incorrectly calculate the gross floor area, lettable area, rent yield, or development potential of a property. Such a mistake can lead to financial loss for the client, and the insurance may cover the resulting claims. Another example is the failure to disclose important information. For example, if a valuer failed to mention legal restriction, encumbrance, or planning issue related to property, the client may suffer loss after purchasing the property. In the situation, the client may seek compensation from the valuation firm and the insurance can provide coverage. Finally, legal expenses are also covered under professional indemnity insurance. If a claim is brought against the valuation firm, the insurance can help pay for legal fee, court costs and other related expenses. In conclusion, professional indemnity insurance cover loss arising for negligent valuation, error and omission, failure to disclose important information and legal expenses, helping valuation firm manage professional risks and financial liabilities. Thank you.
My name is QURRATU and BINTI AHMAD AZIAN with student ID 20249744053. Next, I will present question 5, which explains 4 types of misconduct and ethics under Part 4 of the Valuers, Appraisers, Estate Agent and Property Managers Rule Act 242. The purpose of this rule is to ensure that registered valuers carry out their professional duties with integrity, honesty, competence, independence and accountability. Since valuation reports are widely used by banks, investors, government agencies, courts and property owners, it is important that valuers always follow high ethical standards. Failure to comply with this rule may result in professional misconduct and disciplinary action by the board. The first type of misconduct and ethics is Rule 63, which relates to the conduct of a registered valuer or appraiser. This rule requires valuers to act in the best interest of their clients, maintain confidentiality, and only accept assignments that match their professional knowledge and competence. For the example, if a valuer discloses confidential development plan to another developer or accept a specialized valuation without having the necessary expertise, it will be considered professional misconduct because it violates the client's trust and their professional standards. The second type is Rule 65, which requires personal interest to be disclosed. A registered valuer must inform the client of any business relationship or personal interest that could be influenced their professional judgment. This ensures that the valuation remains objective and independent. For instance, if a valuer is asked to value a property owned by a close relative but fails to inform the client about this relationship is create a conflict of interest and breach professional ethics. Next, third type for this misconduct is Rule 72, which prohibits public criticism of value-registered valuers. Valuers should maintain mutual respect and professionalism at all times. If they believe another valuer has acted improperly, the matter should be reported to the board instead of making public accusations. For example, posting negative comments about another valuer on social media or publicly criticizing their professional fees is considered unethical conduct under this rule. For the last type is Rule 81, deals with the liability for offences committed by registered firms. This means that directors, partners and sole proprietors are responsible for ensuring that their firms comply with the professional rules. If a valuation firm knowingly submit misleading valuation report or fail to supervise its employee properly, both the firm and its directors may be held liable for the misconduct. This rule promotes accountability throughout the organizations, not just at the individual level. In conclusion, these four rules are essential in maintaining professionalism and ethical conduct within the valuation profession. By complying with Rules 63, 65, 72 and 81, registered valuers can protect their clients' interests, uphold the reputations of the professions and maintain public confidence in valuation services. Thank you.
Okay, next, I will explain 4 matters that are forbidden in advertisement by registered valuers and registered valuation firm. Firstly, advertisement must not contain inaccurate, misleading, or deceptive information. All information presented must be truthful and supported by fact. For example, a valuation firm cannot claim to be the largest valuation firm in Malaysia without valid evidence. Okay, secondly, registered valuers are not allowed to compare their service with other valuers or valuation firm, such as comparison may create unfair competition and affect professional relationship. For example, a firm should not advertise that its valuation report are more accurate than those of another licensed valuation firm. Thirdly, registered valuer and valuation firm are prohibited from offering gift, discount, commission, or other incentive to attract client. Professional service should be chosen based on competence and reputation rather than rewards. For example, a valuation firm cannot offer cash reward or shopping vouchers to clients who use its service. Okay, fourthly, advertisement must not be made in a way that could damage the reputation of the valuation profession. Registered valuers are expected to maintain professionalism at all times. For example, advertisement using statements such as highest property value or 100% of approval valuation are considered inappropriate and unprofessional. So in conclusion, registered valuers and registered valuation firm must ensure that all advertisements are ethical, professional and comply with the regulation that set by the board. That's all from me. Thank you.